What is up, Fuse? We've got a very special Let's Talk About It this week. But first, I've got to make a little trip to go pick up the person who we're going to talk about it with. So, welcome to the party. Okay. Hey, guys.
Hey, everybody.
Anyways, hey, I'm Meredith.
Hey, guys. I'm Stacy. This is my best mate.
Stacy is still jet lagged, so
I'm a bit delirious.
She's a bit delirious. But we are going to talk about, if you've been tuning in with us on YouTube, she hasn't, but she will now.
Yes.
If you've been tuning in with us on YouTube, we're going, this Let's Talk About It series is just real life issues that you are dealing with at home or at school or whatever that we just need to talk about more because you're already talking about it. So, what Stacy and I are going to be talking about is kingdom friendships. Who doesn't love friendship? What?
High five.
Oh. How about you were saying? Woo! Stacy loves friendship. I love friendship. And honestly, I believe friendship is truly the heart of God. Mm-hmm. And that he has gifted us one another in order to show more of who he is to us. And also just to reveal his kingdom to the world through our friendships. Because y'all know, like, how middle school and high school is. It's like, oh, this is my best friend. Nah, this is my best friend. Nah, this is my best friend. Nah, that ain't my friend anymore. It's just, what even is friendship? Why did God give it to us?
Yeah.
And how can it be truly purposed? So, Stace.
Yes, mate.
First, tell us a little bit about yourself. And then, what is friendship to you?
All right. So, my name's Stacy. I am 29 years old, knocking on the door of 30. And
nothing like them 30s, though.
I had the honor and the privilege of working with Fuse Student Ministry for 4 years. And I returned to Australia in 2018, which is where I'm from. So I've been living there the last couple of years and having a good time, but still this one's my best mate. So we met back in 2014 and did not like each other. That's a long story.
You know how girls are sometimes.
Long story. I liked Meredith. She didn't like me, but it's fine. Anyways, so friendship to me is a partnering together to... just be company and companions on the journey that God's called us to be on, but also to help each other in the purpose that God's called the individual to. So, lots of benefits to friendship. I love it. I'm a huge fan, and I'm a huge fan of this one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I want to actually ask a question with that. Stace made a joke that we didn't like each other. Okay, that's actually true. But I want to talk about why. And because we know that was like the enemy coming against friendship because there was a great purpose for our friendship. So I'll say my piece and then you can say your piece from different perspectives. And then you might see a real life fight again. And then we'll have to talk about that.
Okay.
Anyways, so I was living in England. Y'all go look at a map because you need to work on your geography.
Somewhere up there.
I was living in England. England, I guess, is this way. Oh. So I was living in England. Don't high-five me. I was living in England. Stacy was living in America.
From Australia.
Moved
to America.
Yes. So she had moved to America while I lived in England. I still had friends in America. So I was over in England hearing all these people like, oh, you would love this girl, Stace, and oh, she's preaching at Fuse and blah, blah, blah. Well, I had always wanted to preach at Fuse, and I hadn't yet. So my flesh and my comparison... You know how that is. Got in the way. So I'd never met this chick, and yet I was like, I don't like her. I don't like her. I already know I don't like her. Stace was on this side, and what was your perspective?
I liked you.
No.
No. Okay, I just felt like everybody was talking about Meredith. This chick called Meredith who was living in the UK, and I was like, stop talking about Meredith. Like, she's gone. She ain't here no more, so let's talk about me.
When you're popular, you know what I mean? No, in all seriousness... The issue is, and this is what I want to point out, this is why so many of us have friends one day and we don't have friends the next. We allow comparison and competition to get in the way of kingdom-purposed friendships when God has made us to be co-laborers. The Bible talks about this all throughout it, about how we are co-laborers for Christ, that we need one another. And so often the friendships that I think even the enemy knows are very purposed, he's going to come after those even harder, because he wants you to compete and to compare and to hold offense instead of being like, no, I got your back, you got mine, we're going to stay on this way of following Jesus, and I'll call your mess out.
And so eventually I was making spaghetti bolognese one day in my house, and she came over and sat down, and we kind of chatted out, and we realized actually we're going to be much better friends than enemies, so let's be friends. It was a little awkward, felt like a first date. Wasn't first date, but it was a bit awkward.
Friend date?
Like, friend date.
Friend date's real.
And then we've been friends ever since. But mind you, I will say we still have dealt with comparison and competition all throughout our friendship. So we've had to have many open conversations about it and just be like, hey, the reason I'm being like this to you right now is because I'm secretly jealous of the fact that you got this or that you were asked to do this. So I'd say open communication has been the biggest part of our friendship, contributing to the health of our friendship. So if you can't be honest with one another, then you're probably not going to end up being really good friends. So you've really got to work on being honest and vulnerable with one another and receiving that and giving that back to the other person. So communication is huge.
Yeah, that's what I was going to amen. In friendships, if you cannot be honest with one another, and you go and talk to other friends about that friend and what you're working through, like, hey, will you pray for me? Me and this friend are having an issue. No. You talk to the Lord and you talk to that friend about the issue that's going on. Because we know, like, Stace is now in ministry in Australia, working at a church, working in youth ministry, figuring it out. I'm in ministry in the States here now. But open communication and honesty still has to be a consistent thing because now, and this is so like the disciples, they lived with Jesus for 3 years and then they all pretty much spread out across the world. But they were always, a lot of the Bible is writing letters, like olden day text messages and FaceTime. You know, they were sending letters back and forth like, hey, don't give up the good fight of faith. There were even fights recorded, like Paul and Barnabas in the Bible had a fight. They had to talk about it.
They went their separate ways and they came back.
And then they came back. Yeah. So it is very scriptural that friends fight. Yes, fight. But realize that your enemy is not one another. That you fight within the friendship to fight for the friendship.
Yeah, that's very good.
We've never fought, though.
We have fought. One time I threw a sweaty t-shirt at her face and I was very scared as she chased me around the house. But that was fun.
Because it was, never mind. Anyways.
Friendship is fun, but you've got to work on it. I think that's huge what people think. It's like, oh, I wish I had a friendship like yours. But honestly, it's taken a lot of tears, a lot of prayers, and a lot of like awkward, honest conversations of confessing sin to one another, being super vulnerable with one another. And I think when you're able to walk through those awkward, hard moments, that's when you really reap the rewards of a great friendship. So definitely worth fighting for, but also definitely not easy.
Yeah. I just saw this too when you were saying that. That's what friendship is for. Teammates. Thanks. Yeah. You get fives when I don't ask for them, and I'm like, totally me. Now I forgot what I was going to say.
Anyways, best friends for us. She's remembered what it is. Go ahead.
One of my favorite scriptures is when Jesus looks at his disciples. I believe it's in John 17. And he says, John 13.
I don't know what you're going to say.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But where he says, no longer do I call you servants, but I call you friends. That Jesus, is that John 13?
It's John.
Definitely John. But where he says, I don't call you servants, I call you friends. And that Jesus was literally showing us, and these are the same people that he shared his burdens with, he shared his tears with, he shared his frustrations with when he was like, you did that wrong. But then he shared his mission with, that these were the guys that when he was about to ascend to heaven, that he gave the Great Commission to, hey, therefore go and I will be with you as a friend to the end of the age to make sure that you complete this Great Commission. And so I think a lot of the ways that we see the friendship of Jesus that he was talking about is with one another, that ultimately it is about Christ It is about serving him. It is about his mission, and it cannot be about you. Let that be the final note. If you keep going through friend after friend after friend, maybe it's because the friendship is all about you instead of serving Jesus and the mission he's given us and serving the friend that you have. And so, any other thoughts on friendship, Baked?
No, just that you guys are my friends and I love you all a whole lot, and she's a great friend.
This is my friend. Friendship is great. Kingdom friendships are great. Fight for friendships. Fight in friendships. Laugh.
Cry together.
Cry. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.
We forgot to sing y'all our friendship song.
It goes like this. 'Cause we're the two best friends that anyone could have. Yeah, we're the